Hey, this is Anthony from RevZilla TV. We can watch, decide, and ride. Welcome to our detailed breakdown of the new REV'IT Factor 3 pant available at RevZilla.com. To my left, I have the Factor 3 available in black only, fresh off the boat from the Netherlands. And again, it's an homage to a throwback product we've seen from REV'IT. In the early days of RevZilla, we had the original Factor, 3-season cold weather. This is the update. This is the resurgence going back to DNA that worked really well. Now you're looking in that $200 to $300 range, actually a little closer to $200. There's a lot of bang for the buck here, but you're looking at 3-season cold weather. So there's a non-removable waterproof liner. There's a removable thermal liner, but again, you're set up for fall, winter, spring riding, and it's got a great classic tour look to it. If we look at it, it has a little bit of that contemporary feel where you're a mixture of PowerShell 600D and then PowerShell 1200 in the knees, and you also have some of these quilted updates here that just kind of complete it a little bit. Now, if you think about the REV'IT line, something like the Vapor is going to be the big brother, and that's going to be true for season with ventilation. Again, a lot of riders are going to need that if they're riding through the summer, but this bad boy in the Northeast and the Pacific Northwest, where you're really seeing lots and lots of cold weather for a lot of the time and getting wet a lot of the time, it's going to be a great option, and it's not going to break the bank. Now, before we get into some of the other nuances here on the Factor 3, let's talk about Fitment. High-vis Brian's just so visible, 6 foot 195, 42-inch chest. He's 35 inches at his belly button circumference, and that's the sizing you want to use here for the REV'IT pants. He's wearing a size large standard, and I say large standard because these Factor 3s come in shorts and tall sizes. So depending on your inseam, which you need to measure as well, you might be in a standard, a short, or a tall size, and that really takes the place of being able to adjust the knees. That's why they do that. I'll also note, which is really nice, that REV'IT, while it is a tour fit, and I'm going to say that I agree with them. I don't think it's overly aggressive, but I also don't think it's that baggy American cut. I think it has a really clean line to it. These pants come in sizes up to 4X, so it's really nice to see them accommodating the top end of the size curve as well and expanding the range for a pant that's pretty accessible for most riders just over that $200 mark. Now, keep in mind, we're going to ship for free over $39 if you're concerned about fitment, and click right there, our logo. Leave me your comments, your questions, your feedback after you subscribe to us at RevZilla TV, our YouTube channel. Now, diving back in, we talked about the outer shell and the denier, and we talked about the fact that these are 1200D knees, and I like that because they're waxed, because they're an area that's going to protrude from your bike. It's going to get hit with a lot of water, and it's going to do a good job deflecting before it even gets to that waterproof, breathable Hydratex membrane, which is baked in. If we look at some of the other creature comforts, C-Soft, CE rated, Type 1 armor, that's going to be in the hips, so you're going to have that come standard. You're also going to have Knox FlexForm armor in the knees, so you have CE rated level 1 knee and shin protection. You have the protection that's coming stock at the hips, and again, it's adding to the tech factor. One of the other things that's techy on this pant, which we're starting to see roll out across the entire REV'IT line, is in the beginning, motorcycle companies did buttons that were maybe a normal button. Then they went to snaps at the waist. Now they're going to the YKK slide lock system, which is a nice upgrade. So instead of that being a button or even a basic slide or a snap, open that up, Brian, and show it. It's a slide lock, which is self-finding, which basically snaps in and has a positive action to it. That's going to sit on top of your fly, and really, depending on the circumference, depending on how you're working on your bike, depending on how much you're maxing out the waistline of these pants, it's not going to come undone once you snap it in. Again, we're a big fan of that. That technology is being rolled out in many cases across the REV'IT line, and it's nice to see that coming in around a $200 pant. Now, if we look at some other nuances along the front here, if I had to maybe gripe at it a little bit, I'd say a nice little pop of reflective. There are reflectivity on the sides, but again, maybe a reflective piece on the front could work here. And again, you'll see up here along the top of the thigh, this is going to be a pocket, which is going to be water resistant. That pocket sits on top of the waterproof lining. Now, have his Brian turn and face away from me. If Brian turns away, you're going to see another key update, which is a nice touch here at REV'IT. You're going to have this slide, which is adjustable along the waist, saving you to have a belt. But from REV'IT, now they've taken the elasticated panel and they've extended it down above the hip. In earlier times, you might see 2 or 3 inches of it. Now you have about 5 or 6 inches of it. Again, from a comfort and adjustability standpoint, it's going to work a little better with your body. Coming down, you'll see that reflective now come into play along the hip, and then it's a nice clean line all the way down the side of the knee, which doesn't seem to have any stretch to it as you finish down across the pant. Again, that's one of the things you're trading off here when you're getting closer to that $200 range. you're going to not see some of the creature comforts you might see in a more technical pant that might be $300, $400, $500. Turn and face away from me, good sir. There you go, away backwards. You know where I was going with that. If we look at the top, it's a classic yoke from REV'IT. You're going to have your short connection zipper that's going to allow you to marry it to a lot of their textile jackets. You see reflectivity across your REV'IT logo across the top of the seat, and then again, you do have some light stretch here across the top of the seat as well. Also note, for a pant that's going to come in around that $200 mark, it's nice to see the butt gripper. I wish there was a more technical term for it, come into play, which is going to give you another tactile point of response connecting rider and motorcycle. And you see that on some of the higher end pants. Nice to see it here on this mid-range option. Moving down, again, the backs of the pants are going to be really, really basic. Come back around to the front for me there, HVB. I want to see the inside of your left foot. There you go. If we look at the entry and exit point, remember this is a waterproof pant, and the waterproofing is a floating liner. It's non-removable. It's going to be behind this zipper. That's how you're going to get in and out. And again, it's not meant to be an overpant. It's not going to be very easy because of the taper to it. To get it on over your boots, you're going to put your pant on, then you're going to add your boot secondarily. Again, that's the trade-off you're making at certain times, because honestly, what we've heard from the market a lot and what REV'IT's heard is that people like a textile pant that's great for touring and multi-season use. Sometimes they want it really baggy to get over their pants, and then sometimes they want it to have a nicer, cleaner line to kind of hug their body and hug their style, and again, be a little bit more svelte because it's a little bit more of an athletic build. But I will say this pant is cut with an American body in mind. It's not overly European. So remember, removable thermal liner, non-removable waterproof, close to the $200 range, with some nice creature comforts, including those butt grippers that we saw when High-Vis Brian was turned backwards, kind of getting it over the next step. The Vapor is going to be the big brother, and we'll give you that 4-season option. The next step in your journey is to click right here. Read other rider reviews of the Factor 3 pants at RevZilla.com. You don't have to take my word for it. As always, we'll ship for free over $39. And if you want to talk to a gear geek, see us at RevZilla.com or 877-792-9455. Thanks for watching our detailed breakdown. Remember, subscribe to us at RevZilla TV, our YouTube channel. I'm Anthony. We'll see you next time.